Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nick and welcome back to Minecraft Naked and Afraid, where we are tasked with two jobs: build a home and get a full set of netherite armor within 100 Minecraft days. Playing with not one, not two, but 7 Minecraft add-ons on the Bedrock edition of Minecraft, where we're faced against a world full of all sorts of unknown dangers, and we are built to try to survive as much as we possibly can. This is episode 4 of the series, and if you are already enjoying it, please like and subscribe as we do more and more of this. Now let's get into today's episode. Previously, we built our house. Finally, one of the tasks were complete. It did take us about half the days, but we did it. We built our house. It came out to be an absolute gorgeous house, and you actually get to see glimpses of it all throughout this episode. While yes, I didn't get a good shot, I wish I did. I didn't realize I didn't get a good shot until after I edited the video, but that's alright. As far as that goes, our now new adventure is to venture into the Nether. But before we venture into the Nether, there was something I've always wanted to do thanks to the Sparks Pets Premium mod, and that is find a blue platypus, because that's actually a thing. They actually have platypuses in this mod, and we decided that we were going to go out, venture to get not only this blue platypus, but also our main goal was to get wool, bring back sheep, and get as many beds as we possibly can. I also grabbed emeralds so I could try to buy whatever I needed to buy from villagers and or the wandering traders that have all the pets stuff from the pets mod. And I ventured out and immediately found a village. Not that far away, actually. So coming up into the village, it wasn't too bad of a village, to be honest with you. It was honestly it was a pretty good village for me. Not the worst, but not the greatest. I came in, I looted, and then I was out. Simple as that. I got a few beds, and I slept the night, ready to venture off tomorrow morning. The platypus I last found, if you haven't recalled from the first episode, I found a platypus in this icy lake area. Of course, I didn't show that part, but I did find the platypus in this icy lake area, so I tried to stay near it as much as I possibly could, as well as trying to find a village. And lo and behold, of course, I did find a village sitting right next to this lake, this icy lake. It wasn't the greatest village, but I did manage to get a ton of beds from it. I did loot it just a little bit. It wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but I did get me quite a few beds, and just like that, I was off again to find my next village, and hopefully another platypus. And just like that, another village. I stumbled across another village in a very similar spot right next to that icy lake, except for it was more down a river. And again, it wasn't the greatest village because it was an abandoned village, but of course, like you see here, I grabbed more beds. So that's the least they could do for me. I continued out in another direction to try to find me yet another village. And of course I did. I found yet another village. And this was the final village. This was the village that I was going to grab everything I already had, all of my beds, all of the flowers that I needed to dye all the wool in the same color so I could make the beds. And then I also brought home some sheep. I found a lead from one of the places that I was previously at, and so I kept it. And continued to loot this village and get ready to bring the 2 sheep home with me. And the cool part is, being at a village, you get hay bales, which means you can craft wheat. And that's exactly what I did. I grabbed one sheep with the lead and crafted some wheat out of a hay bale I found. And as you will see, the sheep that's up ahead is the one I take. Of course, I wanted more sheep because more than just what you will see me as crafting beds with, I will also be using the wool to craft furniture in the future. And of course, I did have tons and tons of issues the entire way back, to the point where it literally took me 3 days to get back home. And on my way back home, I found this cherry biome. And when I found this cherry biome, I also had found another wandering trader, which gave me another lead. And while I was here, I saw a wandering trader for the pets mod. And because I found a wandering trader for the pets mod, I went to go see if he had platypus. And of course, he didn't, which was disappointing, to say the least. But I did come back to him later on, which you will see towards the end of the series. And of course, I looked over and found a platypus, a blue platypus. And because I had already bought a hat from a wandering trader earlier, I already had the top hat to give him, the Perry the Platypus hat, which you will see on my way back home. The cherry blossom biome sits right behind my house, and while I was on my way back, because that's where this is at, I found these two cheetahs lying down right next to each other. And as you will see, like I said, it was right above my house, and just over this hill was the legendary house that you know and now love. That was the two sheep and Perry the Platypus on the way back home. I got myself all put together, made some fries, made some bread, baguettes, and was getting myself mentally and physically prepared for the nether. I had already found the 10 obsidian that I would need for the nether portal. So as I created my beds to basically have cheap explosion for my tunnels, I then went to go build my nether portal inside of this hill so that I didn't hear it inside my home and it was somewhat hidden. And after a while, all 10 of my blocks were placed, and it wasn't all that long before I lit my nether portal and was inside the nether. I put a bed outside the nether, and next thing I know, I set my base up inside, and of course had these issues with the skeletons, which they actually got way too obnoxious for me, to the point where I had to turn on peaceful mode. And yes, I know, technically that's cheating, but after a while of non-stop running into the skeletons, I just couldn't do it anymore. I was going to literally lose my mind, and it was already costing me quite a bit of time just being in the nether without even mining the tunnel that I would need. Because then, on top of that, just mining the tunnel was just the basics of it, which I will find out later on, that because I had no idea what I was doing, making a netherite armor, I just knew where to mine the ancient debris to make the netherite scraps. What I didn't know was I needed to find a nether fortress to get the upgrades that I would need. And I also learned very quickly that you die almost instantly after placing a bed. However, a few times of that, and I mined a pretty deep tunnel, which I actually used to find the nether fortress. I just used the tunnel and went and mined in several different directions and came out to find the fortress that I needed to get my stuff. So, after I blew up that tunnel for literal hours, I mined all the way up to the ancient debris and mined my ancient debris. And for the most part, it wasn't too bad. I was, small parts at a time, but as you can tell, the tunnel was deep. I eventually used all of my beds, blew it all up, and then continued to go on, smelting my ancient debris into the netherite scraps, and then, after this, went back into the nether to get my upgrades that I needed to actually use to make my netherite armor. So thank you all so much for watching today's episode, and I will see you all next time.